Welcome to NSR Talks, and today we're going to be discussing why most people will never be free. Now, we live in a society where they want everybody to fit in. They want you to fit the standards that society has put upon us all, that we have to look a certain way, dress a certain way, do a certain thing for a living, make a certain amount of money, have a certain amount of kids, live in a certain city, live in a certain country. And we weigh ourselves down and we lose ourselves when we don't have a sense of self, because we're trying our best to fit a cookie cutter standard that the world has put on for us. For example, they tell you that in order to be successful, you got to go to college, no questions asked. You got to go to university. But most people with a college degree can't even get a job in the field that they studied in. To me, that sounds like a scam. I'm just keeping it real. You got people, they tell you about real estate. They tell you that you need to own a house. But most people end up becoming house poor, because when you own a house, it's really not your house. If you're paying a mortgage, property taxes, the bank still owns that house. And if you don't make that payment, they can come and take your house. And then when you buy the house, it just keeps you stuck in that same town, in that same city. And now that becomes your identity. And now you're not free. And then a lot of people in society don't have financial literacy. So people are just earning people are earning over 100K, still living paycheck to paycheck. Now, what does that tell you? People are blowing their money and have no savings. People are in debt. People are borrowing money for basic life needs, and they keep saying that we're in a recession. We're in a recession. Is it really that we're in a recession, or are people just not financially responsible? Ever since I started getting a grip on my finances, I realized I really wasn't broke. I really made enough money. It's just that I wasn't doing the correct things with the money. I didn't have a budget, which is a very important thing. I didn't know where my money was going. So every month I would find myself with no money, even though I made high money. Even though my job was paying me nice checks, I still was living paycheck to paycheck, and I wasn't free because I was spending my money. And I had no clue where it was going. Once I sorted out a budget, and I've mapped out and trapped out, okay, how much do I need for rent? How much am I spending on food averagely? How much am I spending on leisure? How much am I spending on my car? How much am I spending on gas? Once I started compiling all my bills, I was able to see where my money was going and where I need to stop spending money at. Once I did that, I was able to skyrocket my savings account. For anybody listening on this channel, the basic things of financial literacy that you need to know is budgeting, saving, and investing. But before you even think about investing, make sure you get your budget right and your savings right. Budgeting and investing comes last. Go through and figure out everything you have that you pay for. Figure out things that you can cut from that you don't need, that you're wasting money on. And then figure out how much money does it cost for you to live a month on your essentials. Then take that number and stack up 3 to 6 months worth of that number. So let's say you pay $1,400 a month for all your living expenses. That includes rent, food, phone bill, gas, all of that, everything that you need to survive. If all that costs $1,400, take that number and times it by 4, or times it by 3, and that's the number that you need. So the reason why most people won't be free is because a lot of people don't think outside the box. A lot of people follow the society. A lot of people follow the system. A lot of people don't save. A lot of people don't have a budget. So they're spinning their wheels at their job. They're making all this money and they're spending all of it. And then they buy a house and then they pay a mortgage for the rest of their lives that they never actually end up paying off. And that's what keeps everybody stuck and in debt. And this is why most people will never be free. If you want to escape and you want to live a free life, travel the world and have funds and have money in your pocket, first thing, make content. Start turning your dreams and your passions into content, TikTok videos, to YouTube videos, and start putting yourself out there. Second, create a budget. Know where your money's going. Know how you're spending your money. 3, make a saving plan. How much do you want to save? You should be aiming to save at least 3 to 6 months emergency fund. Figure out your number and just start slowly stacking. Every month, put away as much as you can put away. That's up to you. I'm not a financial advisor, by the way. I'm just telling you what I learned and how I stacked up my first 10K. All I did was create a budget, save, and cut on expenses that I didn't need. And I feel like you guys can do the same thing. Most people will never be free because most people don't think. And that's the bottom line. This has been NSR Talks. Thank you guys for coming through. I'll catch you on the next one.